The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Hurry in for great deals during the Ram Make This the Summer event. Ram, built to serve. And now, well-qualified lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab 4x4 for $339 a month for 36 months with $5,169 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra, no security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution at least through Chrysler Capital. Excludes all other FCA vehicles. Extra charge for miles over 30,000. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 8/1/22. Hurry in for great deals during the Ram Make This the Summer event. Ram, built to serve. And now, well-qualified lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab 4x4 for $339 a month for 36 months with $5,169 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra, no security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution at least through Chrysler Capital. Excludes all other FCA vehicles. Extra charge for miles over 30,000. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 8/1/22. Hurry in for great deals during the Ram Make This the Summer event. Ram, built to serve. And now, well-qualified lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab 4x4 for $339 a month for 36 months with $5,169 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra, no security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution at least through Chrysler Capital. Excludes all other FCA vehicles. Extra charge for miles over 30,000. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 8/1/22.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
Too late. Beat
I
to
do.
a towel.
I do want to get high, and I want to toast this high. If I had an actual joint, I'd be lighting it in honor of two musical legends that we lost this week.
By the way, I'm Chris.
And I'm Aaron. And we lost one of the most beautiful people on the planet, Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, Sandy.
Remained gorgeous through all of her life, too.
Yeah, definitely aged well.
You know, and died too soon at 73.
Didn't make herself
like-
look like everybody. Like, definitely didn't do the facelift and the big fake lips and and all that. Didn't do that.
Remember when you heard somebody died in their 70s and you're like, yeah, okay. And now you're like, what?
Right? Only 70s.
Dame Olivia Newton-John.
Is that like the female version of being knighted?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. Well, she's, I guess you don't have to be British then, right? She was Australian.
Well, I heard today she was born in England but raised in Australia.
Oh, is that a fact? So she actually had British citizenship. However that works. I don't know. I assume that like everybody's got the same citizenship rules, but it's not true, is it?
Well, is Australia under the monarchy?
No.
I know they were the penal colony.
Yeah. I don't know.
Canada's under the monarchy, but do they really recognize her?
I don't know how this fucking works.
Right.
I don't know.
That's why we left. Like, we'll be over here.
Yeah, I mean, they have the same owners, I guess.
Right.
That's how it works. But they're separate entities. It's like Yum Brands, you know? It's a lot of shit under one umbrella. That's like the British Empire.
Canada is the KFC of the British Empire.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they do got all the gravy.
Yeah, a lot of great music that she did. I think underappreciated as a vocalist. Like she had, I mean, certainly like that song is what she's most well known for.
Definitely one of them. Did you ever see this movie?
Xanadu?
The ELO
I
Olivia.
seen Xanadu? Do I own the soundtrack on
I guess
vinyl?
I'm forgetting who I'm talking to.
A big fan of ELO and of Olivia Newton-John. When I found out this movie existed, I was like, why were you hiding this from me?
Why didn't you tell me about this sooner?
Yes.
Well, you're 6.
Yeah, Xanadu. I mean, Grease. I'm not going to say like.
I think most Gen Xers know her from Grease. She's Sandy.
Yeah. Now, this is from, according to CNN, in 1981, she took her new, sexier persona a step further with Physical. Physical.
We've watched that video, right? Like,
oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it a million times.
A guy who became a fat dude gets buff in 3.5 minutes because that's how long it takes when you work out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's that video hit. It was like the right kind of video and for the age, and it was right at the time when like MTV was blowing up.
And also it was taking advantage of the whole home fitness craze and all that crap.
Exactly, but it was progressive, right? It was flipping the gender norms on their head. It was making the men
the sex objects.
Yeah, she was in control. She was sexy, but she had like the full on leotard thing on. She wasn't being revealing in any way, and the guys were the ones stripped down to their skivvies. For some reason, until the 90s, it was like or even the 80s, it was like a dirty secret that women liked fucking too. Yeah. Well, that was, I think that's what they call third wave feminism. I think that's the third wave. Like, late 70s, early 80s, like... I think that was second wave. No, because like the first wave would be like... Steinem and Friedan and all those people in that first wave, or well, no. See, I thought that was second wave because your first wave is like the suffragettes. Yeah, are we talking that far back? Wouldn't it be? I mean, technically, wouldn't it start with suffrage? But I think the 70s feminism is considered like the first wave. Okay, so yeah, second wave feminism. Second wave feminism was we can fuck too, right? Yeah. She lost a lover at sea. No. Yeah. What do you mean? A podcast I listened to was talking about this. About Patrick McDermott? He was hiding in Mexico. He just was like that's how that story resolved. Oh, really? Yeah. Wait a minute, but he just didn't want to like be in a relationship with her anymore and just like went MIA in Mexico. First off, I'm sure everybody's got their little niggles and whatnot, but you don't want to be in a relationship with Olivia Newton-John anymore? Dude, are you gay? Maybe. We don't know where in Mexico he went. But also, is she like an unreasonable person? Like, could you not just say like, this isn't working out? But in this CNN article, which is obviously just published because she just passed away, it says that it was a mystery. It was never found, an unsolved mystery that haunted the singer for years. And I guess they found him like a couple years ago. That's what I'm saying. Like, it resolved itself. So recently, I believe. Yeah. So they've had this on file for a little while. Well, probably. I mean, hold on. Let me make sure I'm not spouting. I think you're right. No, I think you're right. I mean, maybe they were just theorizing, but I remember hearing something like that too. Yeah, I have a feeling that they just didn't update it. She had little acting experience and turned 29 during the filming of Grease. 29 playing like, what was she supposed to be, 17, 18 at most? Here you go. Hold on real quick. After years of searching for the missing man, a group of private investigators hired by Dateline NBC were alleged to have located McDermott alive and living in Mexico in April 2010. Yeah. Wow, so... They've had this on file for that long. I think as soon as you hit like 65, they have a bio ready to go for your death notice. Oh wait, in apparently that was all like disputed because the word alleged was in there. Okay. Here's where I get the recently. In 2016, more than a decade after his mysterious disappearance, the Australian weekly magazine Woman's Day claimed investigators found McDermott healthy and alive in the town of Sayulita? Yeah, it's in a Mexican town. Yes. Where they purported that he did none of the claims were ever substantiated. All right, so I guess there's so is this like where there's smoke, there's fire? There's enough rumors of, hey, he's in Mexico. Like,
perhaps he is in Mexico. Because I guess all of these, have not been substantiated.
Yeah.
But after, like, the 9th time, he's alleged to be in Mexico. Like, with Cosby, right? By, like, the 37th time, we were like, all right. Not trying to put this man on the level
well,
with Cosby.
it's not like he committed a crime, right? He just, like, he wanted to start a new life. And
yeah.
But usually that is, like, commit a crime. People don't just go and start a new life because they need to break up. Yeah, they weren't even married, right?
I want to break up.
Right. He wasn't married. He didn't have another family. It wasn't.
Did they have kids?
I don't know. Maybe they did. Boy, that would be what a creep.
Oh wait,
if they had kids.
You know, I'm thinking right.
What? I don't know what you're thinking.
What's the timeline with her getting cancer and him disappearing?
Oh, I don't know. Like.
Oh, you got cancer? I'm out of here.
No,
there are people like that. Didn't John Edwards do that to his wife?
Was that John?
Didn't Newt Gingrich do that to his wife too?
Newt Gingrich definitely did that to his wife. He took up with the nurse.
Oh, you got cancer? Peace.
He was with her till she died, but only because the nurse was hot, and he ended up marrying the nurse.
But I guess that'd be a long way to get to. I guess her cancer was in remission for like 25 years or something, and it came back this year. Like she was fine and healthy, and then
Olivia has been a symbol of triumphs and hope for over 30 years, this is according to her husband, John Easterling, on Instagram. Yes, over 30 years sharing her journey with breast cancer. So, yeah, she had breast cancer so maybe that was it. You catch a whiff of breast cancer and you go to Mexico.
Right?
Who knows?
I mean, I get it. You're a dirtbag who dumped somebody when they got cancer. But to be a ghosting pioneer?
Maybe he couldn't face himself. He needed a new life. So Olivia Newton-John will be remembered for her amazing looks, her roles, or key roles in some movies. She wasn't an actor per se. She was cast in those roles because she could also sing. And for having some amazing pipes. But the other music legend helped produce music that's probably going to outlast Olivia Newton-John's, frankly.
I think I know this without even being prompted because I think I just read it.
That would be Mr. Lamont Dozier.
Yep.
Who, with his brother Brian and Eddie Holland, they were the songwriting trio of Holland Dozier Holland.
This is not what this fucking says. This is fucking Mersey Beat shit. This is not what this track is labeled.
What's the name of that song?
I want to say this is like Jerry and the Pace, something like that.
Yeah.
I know the Beatles covered this. Because it's on Anthology 1.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, we're not talking about the fucking Beatles. We're not talking about... Yeah. Well, fuck. Is this what it's supposed to...
I think I misspoke. I said that Brian was Eddie's brother. So there were the Holland brothers and Lamont Dozier. You Can't Hurry Love, Heat Wave, Jimmy Mac. I Can't Help Myself, Baby Love, How Sweet It Is, Where Did Our Love Go?
Yeah, I mean, these are some these will be around forever.
And they were young, too. Like, when did... So he dropped out at 16. But, like, they were writing this shit when they were just, like, practically kids. I mean, they're literally kids, some of them.
But I can't imagine this music being seen as radical, but it was when it came out.
Yeah. Well, it's got a force to it, right? It's where, you know, the Beatles and Elvis, and this was music that was obsessed with the backbeat.
Oh, yeah.
And Motown was like just 4 on the floor shit. Mm-hmm. You know, it was more aggressive. And then you do that, like, you know, that kind of stacked production where you just like pack the musicians in there, and you get that almost like wall of sound. I mean, yeah, it's funny. I'm talking about it in this aspect, and we're listening like, yeah, this is like the chillest song in the world.
It took to track 17 to get to this one. I mean, I guess the Supremes did have a lot of hits.
I need love.
Yeah, listen to that. Listen to that rhythm section.
I need to find someone to call mine. When mama said
Love it.
This has got, this is, what's their names, right? Wrecking Crew.
she said
Probably, yeah, I would imagine so. I don't know the credits on it for all these songs, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
just have to wait. You gotta trust, give it time, no matter
It's like one of the Phil Collins songs I like, because it's not by him.
I forget. I think it was Lamont that he was like the lyricist, wasn't he?
That I do not know.
Who's first? Oh, this is Phil Collins.
And why is it a hit? Because he didn't fuck with it.
Yep.
That's literally like the same musical arrangement behind him. It's just 1982 production instead of 1962 production.
Yeah.
It's like the same instrumentation and everything. And that's how you know it's a good song, too. Anyone can sing it, and it's good. But I think most of his stuff blows. But this comes on the radio. This I would classify
Phil
this under
Collins
2 of
stuff?
2.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't let anybody see me listening to this. But I'd leave it on.
But it's hard to fuck it up. I mean, especially if you're remaining true to the arrangement.
Yeah.
I guess a Motown Museum here in Detroit is doing some big expansion.
Yeah, I heard it's been closed for a while.
Yeah. But they're actually going to have a working recording studio in there again.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Jack White going to be the first person recording it?
I don't know. Well, like, I'd be curious to see how that shakes out because
I want a Jack White, Stevie Wonder collaboration in that studio.
you got to figure, I mean, unless they're just tagging on a recording room just so people can say they recorded at Motown.
Right.
You would think that they would be in that original room because it would be the acoustics of that room that they really wanted.
Yeah.
And the like plate reverbs, that if they sell the plate reverbs active, because that was like a whole separate room. They have like a big ass closet for these plates that they would use for the reverb. You'd feed the sound through it. It would kind of reverberate through the metal plate. You'd pick up the sound with the contact microphone, feed it back into the board, sneak that underneath your track, and you've got some reverb there. That's how they would do it. Same concept as a spring reverb in your amps.
Yeah. Just
you know,
in a way bigger scale.
Yep, exactly. And so you get the plates and the room sound, and you could make some great sounding recordings in there.
This is one of his, right? I think you said this one. Baby, I Need Your Lovin'.
Yeah. That was one of them.
They were a lot of. They were like the Four Tops. I think they were like all the Four Tops hits.
Yeah.
Levi Stubbs. How many guys named Levi anymore?
Yeah, I guess not. Huh? There's Levi Strauss. There's Levi Stubbs.
Wasn't the kid in the Righteous Gemstones named Levi? No, that's Gideon. Never mind.
It's Gideon.
Wrong biblical name.
Is Levi from the Bible?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just going to ask. I was like, where does that name come from anyway? I didn't know it's biblical.
It's some Old Testament shit.
What did Levi do?
Oh, Jewish people would tell you better. That's their only Bible. The Catholics brought in the New Testament because it talks about Jeebus. The Jews just want the Moses.
Yeah, it's also got all the badass shit in it. The Old Testament, that's got like your fucking thousand-eyed monsters raining
That's
from
got
the sky
Sodom and
shit.
Gomorrah and
Yeah, it's
no,
got all the good all
the
the
shit
good
you're
stories.
talking about. No, that's Revelations. That's New Testament.
Oh, that is New Testament?
That's the four horsemen. That's the. Oh no. Oh,
I thought
no.
that was Old Testament
No,
shit.
no, never mind. You're talking about the plagues. You're talking about the frogs and the angel
Yes,
of death.
yes,
and the
yes,
rivers
yes.
turning to blood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Raining blood from a lacerated sky.
That's what you're. Is the Old Testament you're talking about right here?
Yes.
Yeah. Put the fucking red X. Put the X in lamb's blood on your door. Your firstborn son's gonna die tonight.
Levi was the fourth son of Jacob. Or wait, the fourth Levi was the son of Jacob. Name Levi has had 4 different characters in the Bible. Well, it was a popular name, I guess.
Oh, there's no Levi songs. Sounds like Eli.
What is this?
Three Dog Night.
Yeah, I knew I've heard this before. This band used to be huge, huh?
Yeah.
This is like the band that everyone's parents said they saw in the 70s. Like,
Dude, they
they must have just toured their fucking asses off.
No, they were. I don't know if you've ever heard or read Chuck Negron's, the lead singer's autobiography.
No, I have not.
They really liked cocaine. That's
Yeah.
that's what their problem was.
So they had to keep on the
They
road.
were like one of the biggest bands on the planet in the 70s, and by the 80s, it was over.
Got to hit the road to get more coke. Got to get more
Yeah.
coke to hit the road.
Like they had like a crazy string of number 1 hits.
Yeah.
And fucking done.
But they have what were the Three Dog Night? Like Joy to the World
Yeah.
was a big one.
Mama told me not to come.
Mama told that's the jam though. Really, you want to talk cowbell, man? That's got to be like the best cowbell song, right?
Not sure if there's a cowbell in this.
There's not a cowbell in this song. Oh, it's the wood block,
Yeah.
not a cowbell.
Sugar in your tea. What's all these crazy questions they're asking me? This is the craziest party that could ever be. Don't turn on the lights, cause I don't want to see. Mama told me let's go. Mama told me let's go.
Like, what's the premise of this song? Like, he's at a fucked up party? Or is this, like, are the verses supposed to be his mom telling him shit?
Open up the window, let some air into this room. I think I'm almost choking from the smell of stale perfume. And that cigarette you're smoking, I'm scaring me up to death. Open up the window, sucker, let me catch my breath.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, was it supposed to be like Ann Esther?
Is he playing a character?
Yeah.
He sounds like he's playing a character.
And this just sounds like a fucking stoner jam. I don't know, there was this... Did this come out in the same period of time? Because this reminds me of songs like this. Like, hold on. Like there were story songs going on in the 70s, like... I think you'll know what I mean when... I'm sure you'll know this song as soon as you hear, like, the opening, because it's very...
Yeah, War.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I was thinking War, and I was also thinking...
Like, he's... Like,
Frank Zappa was popular around the time, too. So, yeah, I think you got something going there.
like he's spinning a yarn in this song.
Yeah.
And then the chorus has nothing to do with what he's fucking talking about.
I think there was a couple factors there. There's like media technology. Well, no, like I think honestly, the 70s you had a more open format for radio, and you had DJs that could actually.
Well, yeah, because FM was just like FM radio wasn't in cars till like 1968.
Yeah. So it was still in the kind of pirate days, and you know, if a DJ liked this song by War, he could play it, you know, and other DJs pick it up and they can make it a hit.
There's a long dead format called AOR, and it meant album-oriented rock.
Yeah. And so you could play something that could be 5-6 minutes long.
This really blew my mind.
And also, you know, these just the LP as well, the long player, coming more into fashion in the 70s as opposed to people just buying singles. Because you could get better quality vinyl where you could pack in 20 minutes aside and and you'd have some room to stretch out and, you know, do a fucking 12-minute jam if you wanted to on one side of your record.
To prove my theory, this backing track's probably just good to talk over.
Yeah.
It just fits.
Exactly.
Eric Burdon knew. I'm surprised this song wasn't sampled more by hip-hop.
That's interesting. It doesn't... It's got no swing to it, though.
I'm surprised, like, Backpack Rap didn't, like, sample the shit out of this song.
It probably has, yeah. I bet you Cut Chemist is, like, scratched this one.
Yeah.
I'm sure Prince Paul has lifted a sample off of that.
The Isley Brothers? Is this yet another song that was an Isley Brothers cover? It says Isley Brothers did this in 71.
Well, that's got some groove to it. No? Not throwing shade at War as a rhythm section, you know. But that's a little more spicy.
It's definitely probably all black people.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like the vocals way better. That's Ronald Isley.
Yeah. I like the little like Fela Kuti style guitar too in there. The ding ding ding.
He's probably gonna wail on the hook. Come on, Ron, get to the hook.
But there I was taken to the place, the hall of the mountain king, high, naked to the world.
Are these the lyrics?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
In front of me, oh yeah, was every kind of girl. One's brown, one's black, one's round, one's big, crazy ones. Out of the middle.
Back in the 70s, when we could take you 2 minutes to get to the hook.
Yeah. Come on, spill the wine already.
Yeah, come on, Ron. Spill the goddamn wine. Oh, I feel like he could have wailed more.
I think they should have switched that. Like, he should have taken the first line and let the rest of the brothers do the backup part. I think,
71.
like, he should be wailing that "Spill That Wine."
Oh, what? Nope, 70. So Wars was first. Usually the Isleys were the ones being covered.
Yeah.
Isleys did the cover on that one.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net. ChristopherMedia.net.
The Weedsman Podcast.
There's something that I've been waiting for forever finally hit Netflix this week. The Sandman television show. that's been in development for over a decade now.
Like, is this a comic book thing?
Yeah, you're not familiar with the Sandman? It was a huge comic in the 90s.
I know this Sandman.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Now, this is the one that looked kind of like Robert Smith. You know, pale skin.
The Crow?
Yeah, kind of looked like the Crow dude. I think the Sandman was before the Crow, I think. Let's see. That was like one of the...
Oh, wow. He really does fucking look like Robert Smith. I think Robert Smith and David Coverdale.
Yeah. And I think the first Sandman
Robert
comic,
Coverdale.
First Sandman comic came out in like 89, I want to say. So that predates the Crow. Might have been earlier than that, but I know, yeah, definitely came out before the Crow did. Well, the Sandman was actually, it was an old DC character that wasn't really in use anymore. And he was a dude with a cape and multicolored outfit, and I think he shot people with like a sand gun or something like that, and it would like put them to sleep. Something like that. There were a couple different Sandsmen, Men of the Sand, but none of them really took off as a character. So it was kind of just, it was unused DC IP. It was just detritus.
I found my commentary for the sand gun. Like somebody signed off on that? And he shoots his gun at you.
Well,
and you fall asleep.
It was the time where like you could just have two dudes in a room that were like coming up with ideas, and they're probably sleep deprived and probably up to their tits on amphetamines.
So they were down to the last of the meth.
Drunk, and
they needed another idea to sell to DC.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. What about a character that puts you to sleep?
Yes. I wish I could just sleep. I wish there was just a gun you could shoot me with that would put me to sleep. Yeah, it's called a 45. You won't wake up.
Wait, say that again. Brilliant. Let's write this down.
No, so...
Character that came up with the next morning, Coffee Man.
Neil,
what if there's a character that just shot coffee at you?
Writer Neil Gaiman had went to work for DC, and he chose the character of the Sandman to reinvent, and he did it as kind of a god, or really, he's one of the Endless, what he describes as more than a god. And the Endless are 8 siblings that basically control everything in the universe. So there's Dream, who controls people's dreams. He controls the sleeping world. There's Death, who controls, obviously, death. Desire.
This is just furthering our theory that these guys were, like, sleep-deprived.
And Destiny.
Like, everything's real on the nose.
Well, yeah, they very much so. Desire, Destiny, Despair, Destruction.
This guy's called him hungry. This guy's called him thirsty.
Well, no, that it's not that they weren't like aspects of it. They were the thing, right? Like the Sandman he's called Dream because he's the god of dreams. I mean, he's not the god of dreams. He is dreams. Like dreams are made of him. Everything that exists in the dream world is made of his substance. But that was the style of really most of the characters, but predominantly Dream or Morpheus or the Sandman or whatever you want to call him.
Morpheus?
Yeah,
What's Larry Fishburne got to do with any of this?
He has a lot of different names. Well, Morpheus was a god of the underworld, I think. Wasn't he?
Yes. I was just going for the cheap laugh.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so the the style of it was very much like late 80s, you know, when goth was still a thing. And it's come and gone, but, you know, I was really wondering, like, because I knew that they wouldn't really want to fuck with the design of the Sandman too much. But would it be laughable in 2022? And it's not. I think it works. Because he's a fucking emo bastard. And he's not really a hero. He's extremely fallible. He's a kind of just a dick, really.
A narcoleptic's going to be offended by his powers.
He's well, no. So like this version of the Sandman has nothing to do with the previous ones. He didn't ever. This version of the Sandman never ran around with a gun and a cape. He's not a superhero.
So it's just name only?
Well, yes. Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, they took the name of the Sandman and said, like, what's the craziest thing that we could do with this, basically? I was going somewhere with this. Can't remember.
We got hit with the sleep gun.
Although he does put people to sleep in it, right? There are scenes where he blows sand on people and then they fall asleep. But he has much more power than that. I mean, he controls people's dreams.
Neil. Lynn. That is just as that does not as a superpower. Like, just be boring.
No,
like.
But that's the thing. So it's not like he's a dude who has a superpower, or like he got a power, or he created something that gave him a power. He is a being that has always existed. As long as there's been consciousness, there's been this dude controlling people's dreams.
Really sleep with one eye open.
So it's not
gripping your pillow tight.
It's not on the nose. It's like, what else could you call him? Because it, you know, that. See, you got it backwards, son. He was Dream before there were ever dreams. Right? He wasn't named after dreams. Dreams were named after him. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's this guy.
I've plowed through most of the series so far of season 1 and thoroughly enjoyed it. There's some changes to it that you would expect. You know, you have to kind of tighten things up for TV. But I honestly think that they've all been positive changes. He's made the story much tighter. And I think it actually has a more of an emotional impact than reading the comic ever did.
Does he hang out with Freddy Krueger?
Does the Sandman hang out with Freddy Krueger? He made Freddy Krueger, bitch.
That's what I'm saying.
Freddy Krueger is a part of him.
Freddy Krueger has nowhere to go without him, is what you're saying?
So the Freddy Krueger there is a Freddy Krueger type in this, and he's the Corinthian. He's a nightmare that haunts people's nightmares, obviously, but he is a nightmare. And he looks just kind of like a normal dude, like kind of slick, kind of 80s in style.
Does the same rule apply? Do you have to kill him in the dream?
But he has, instead of eyes, he has little mouths. So he's got like these little teeth. Oh. When he takes his sunglasses off, you get to see like these little teeth where his eyes should be.
They smile at you?
Yes, they do. And it's really fucked up. And so he's a nightmare that's escaped from the dream world and is walking amongst humans, killing them. So I guess Discovery bought HBO? How does this work now?
I'd read the other way around.
They bought Discovery?
Yeah, either way, there's going to be like 2 channels soon.
Or there was just a merger. Media conglomerate Warner Brothers Discovery Incorporated. So it was a merger then.
It's like HBO and Disney are just going to own everything.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. That's just going to muddy up my favorite streamer. the HBO Max thing was kind of like, why? Because they already had great programming. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of the other stuff that they've added to it. You know, like Adult Swim and stuff.
You're not
like
watching
that.
Friends?
Is that on HBO now? Yeah. I'm really only watching it for the stuff that would normally pop up on HBO. So now this is just going to be more shit for me to swim through, right?
Yeah,
And probably.
if you love true crime, you should be pumped.
Oh, that's where, Discovery is the home of all the true crime stuff, huh? I don't know.
That's formerly a streaming service in this house. Yeah, if you like the true crime and the reality shows, you're gonna be pleased.
That's my beef there with it, though. Is like Discovery has a brand. I mean, it's completely different from the brand that they started out with, but they have a brand, and HBO has a brand.
It's like Discovery Plus should have just been called Streaming for Ladies, because it's all the stuff chicks watch. It's what I just told you. It's
HGTV, History Channel, A&E, TLC, Food Network.
But it's all reality shows and true crime.
Ladies and retired dudes. They're watching a lot of Nazi documentaries and shit.
No, but do you know what's except for the History Channel? Do you know what's on all the rest of those channels? Reality shows.
Yeah.
Your Flip or Flop. I don't even know if that's a show, but it sounds like one. Your fucking your Housewives of Blanks.
Yeah.
Your
pawning shit.
Yeah. 90 Day Fiance. Fucking
people's dead people's storage units.
Yeah. Storage Wars.
They were originally going to call it Dead People's Shit, but they went with Storage Wars.
But yeah, your Bridezillas, your fucking all that garbage.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, HBO is already $15. That's like mid-tier these days for a streamer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But does that mean that now I'm going to have to, because Discovery Plus is $7. If I have to pay now like $22 to get HBO.
Well, I looked into like Hulu Plus or whatever, the one with TV.
Yeah.
Just get cable. It's $80.
Oh yeah. That's if you want you're talking live TV option.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just get.
You want the DVR and everything.
Just get cable.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. Like, they're going to make this big bloated platform. It's going to be over $20, and then I think they're going to realize, oh, there's still some people that just want HBO, right? And then what are they going to do? They're going to break it off into its own thing and be like, hey, you can just get HBO now. Yeah, this site is speculating that maybe they would do a $15 ad-supported and $20 ad-free. I don't know. I guess that would be reasonable. But then it would have to be put into a rotation like Netflix is.
But then again, I'm getting it. If you have 5 streaming services and you're paying $20 each for them, just get cable. That's what you would pay for cable.
Yeah, but you wouldn't. What are you going to get on cable? You're not going to get the same shows that.
Well, nowadays you can get a lot. You can get a lot more. You can get because they're losing ground to streaming. I'm not saying they're giving it away, but you can get like.
But if I want to watch, I can't see Sandman on cable. I can't see.
That's true.
Anything that I'm watching on. Well, I guess I could get HBO, but then I have to still add it on to my cable package to watch it. So I'm paying the same amount of money essentially. I mean, I probably do pay as much, possibly even more, for streaming entertainment than I would cable. But I wouldn't watch cable, right?
The last 2 times I've had it,
there's nothing on basic
the reason
that
I've
I would
canceled
watch.
it. I told them the same thing the last 2 times. I don't watch all of it.
Yeah, I don't watch any of it.
I'm paying money for stuff I'm not watching. I'm about to pay $46 a month for the next 4 months to have football. When football's done, I'm not going to pay $46 a month anymore.
So some weed news. Missouri is got legislation that's going to be on the ballot in November. for marijuana legalization. So,
Well, they border Illinois.
that's true, they do. I was trying to picture where Missouri was. I always forget.
I think Illinois, Iowa,
Aren't they part of the chef?
Arkansas, and Kansas, I believe, border Missouri. That's right. A little bit of Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska. Wow. A lot of states border Missouri.
It's a slutty little state.
Well, no, rivers form the east and the west boundaries.
So does Missouri already have medical?
I don't know.
Because they're talking about recreational, 21 and older, could purchase and possess up to 3 ounces of cannabis. Not 18?
I mean, if you live in St. Louis, it's just it ain't that far of a drive to the border to Illinois to get weed, man.
They would impose a 6% sales tax on recreational cannabis sales. It's 10 here in Michigan, so that's not bad. And use the revenue from the sales to facilitate automatic expungements for people with certain non-violent marijuana offenses on their records.
To fund it, what do you need to fund? What do you got to fund letting people out?
I don't know. I
Or
mean,
clearing their records.
I think you have to pay somebody to assess that, right? You have to go through and look at marijuana records and figure out which ones are nonviolent. And I mean, I know that records are computerized, but there's still a decision-making process that has to happen by a human being somewhere.
I mean, start with possession, less than an ounce. There's the beginning of your nonviolent.
Yeah, but there's a lot of crimes where possession of an ounce is also, they had a weapon or something, or maybe they actually
Let's talk about
robbed somebody.
Only possession of less than an ounce. Start there.
Right, but it's not like somebody clicks a button, Like somebody's got to go through and figure this out.
There's filters on everything in every computer program. I can design a filter in Excel. It's not hard to.
Somebody has to design it, right? And the process of letting people out of prison isn't just like, okay, here's your list, let them out. Like,
You're telling me Orange is the New Black lied to me? A TV show wasn't honest?
yeah, they've got medical there, because it says here in the story by the Marijuana Moment, some have also raised concern about the measure's provisions to give medical cannabis dispensaries a head start in serving the adult use market.
Yeah, I don't understand why no state can figure this out yet. Why is it that hard to go, hey, dispensaries are already selling medical, you can now sell recreational? It seems like no state can figure this out.
Well,
You can't give 2 licenses to the same place? Is that the issue?
I mean, they did that here in Michigan.
But yeah, eventually they figured it out. But as far as like the places that I know that ended up being able to do it, they still had to jump through a bunch of crazy ass hoops.
Right.
Like build a second part of their business, like sometimes literally, to be able to serve the recreate instead of just going, hey, here's another piece of paper. You can now say you also sell recreational. Why can't it be that easy?
Yep.
I feel like Ron Swanson right now. Like, starting a business should be as simple as, I would like to sell you these apples. I would like to buy them. Thank you.
Right. And when I go to CVS, they have a pharmacy, right, where I have to have a prescription to pick something up. Mm-hmm. But I can also grab some Tylenol off the shelf, and he'll ring me up for it.
It can be that easy with weed, too.
Exactly. That's 2 different types of transactions happening at the same register.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
At Walgreens, yes.
How did the computer not blow up?
I can buy the over-the-counter medicine and my prescription medicine.
And the Snickers bar, all in the same receipt.
Yeah.
Dude, it gets crazy. So, yeah, they are overthinking it, I'm sure. And by doing so, I mean, they put themselves in the position of having to be the decider of whose business succeeds or fails. because certainly recreational affects medical. It's the same problem that we're having in Detroit right now, right? So they finally got their medical program organized in a way where they could control it. And
15 years later.
yeah.
Or no, what wasn't it, like 10 years later, actually?
And then they want to start doing recreational in Detroit as well. And that's what's holding it up. Like we talked about, I think, last week, is that all the medical places in there are like, what the fuck? You know, I jumped through all these hoops, and now you're going to tell me that you just approved other businesses to come in and compete with me rather than giving me a chance.
I'm already here. Why don't I get first dibs?
Yes.
I'm already paying taxes.
Exactly.
My employees are already paying taxes because it's the city of Detroit.
D.C. to start inspecting marijuana gifting stores for health code and tax violations.
Health code?
Yep. From a website called DCist. It will start inspecting marijuana gifting stores in September. And it says for health code, tax, and licensing violations, potentially increasing the pressure on businesses that some local legislators say have been skirting the law and undermining the city's regulated medical marijuana dispensaries.
I mean, I get the second two. I'm still not following the health code.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like they are
Like, they don't serve food.
openly showing bias in a way that should be criminal, right? I mean, to say that, like health code violations are one thing, right? The city controls that. You have health code inspectors. They go out and inspect all the places that they need to. To single out and say, oh no, we're going to specifically hit every one of these types of businesses and try and see if we can hit them for health code violations. Not because there's a thought that they are violating health codes at a higher rate than other businesses, but just that they're doing something that you don't approve of. And yeah, they are skirting the law because you know what? A law was approved by voters that wasn't implemented by legislators. So what the fuck did you think was going to happen? The people spoke. They said they wanted something, and you said, you're too dumb to know what you want, and we'll tell you what's good and what's right. You didn't think that people were going to skirt that law.
You know what's funny?
This is targeting.
You know what's funny?
And this is
different side of the political spectrum. Essentially did the same thing in South Dakota. We'll tell you what's good for you.
Mm-hmm. According to the Alcoholic Beverage Control Administration, which regulates medical marijuana sales in D.C. and would oversee recreational sales if and when they are legalized. Well, they are legalized. They're just not.
There's no infrastructure for it.
Yes. A seemingly unironically named Joint Cannabis Force from various city agencies, including the D.C. Health Department of Consumer Regulatory Affairs, blah, 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 blah. They will start inspecting the stores after a 30-day grace period that kicks off this month.
Okay. Like with how, like, I feel like I'm stuck on it. Like maybe COVID things?
No, this is specific. I mean, it's not just. So the Joint Cannabis Force, that is the health department, the fire department, or fire regulation department, Office of Tax and Revenue. I mean, this is all these departments coming together and targeting one specific type of business. So yeah, if you're confused, it's because it has nothing to do with healthcare violations. It has everything to do with the fact that they think that they're breaking the law in other ways, and they want to target these businesses and get them the fuck out.
We'll give infrastructure for
campaign targets so-called. Well, they can't make those decisions. That's up to Congress, actually, because they are not their own state. D.C., those decisions are made by the same do-nothing Congress that controls the rest of the country. Campaign targets so-called I-71 stores, named after the 2014 voter-approved initiative. Yeah, but they misreport this because they say that the legalization or the initiative legalized possession, personal use, home cultivation, and gifting small amounts of marijuana, but not its sale. Now, it did legalize the sale. The council has taken steps to shore up the city's 7 legal medical marijuana dispensaries. So not only are they going after their competition, but they're giving a tax break to the medical dispensaries. And more recently, passing a bill that allows D.C. residents to self-certify that they need medical marijuana, doing away with the former requirement that a doctor write them a formal recommendation for the drug. This is bananas. So
Wait, what?
So there's medicinal dispensaries in DC that now all they need to approve somebody for medical is somebody saying, I approve myself for medical. You don't need a doctor's note. It's not even really a prescription anymore. You self-diagnose and you say, I've diagnosed myself as needing weed. Right. So that's not a loophole. Like,
Just like typical Washington, D.C., huh?
Like, if you want to criticize these businesses because you think they found some kind of loophole that they shouldn't have and that it should be sealed up, then take care of that within the law, right? And also, why is it okay for that loophole? Why is it not okay for that loophole to exist that allows people to sell T-shirts and other items that come with free cannabis gifts to get around the restrictions that Congress put on them? Why is that any different than passing a bill that says that people can self-diagnose and write themselves a prescription for cannabis? That's
one word. Taxes. They can collect money on the other way.
Yeah.
They can't collect money on, hey,
Exactly.
I left you $20 of weed in the couch.
Follow the money.
Yeah.
And it's right there. Exactly. They can't tax the gift, right?
Yeah.
They can tax the shirt. There's sales tax on the shirt that you buy, but that's the same sales tax as anything. And I'm sure there's an additional tax like most places. You know, the Missouri 6% tax proposed, that's on top of whatever sales tax Missouri already has. The 10% that we pay in Michigan is on top of the 6% sales tax that we already pay anyway. So it's on top of that. It is an additional tax. So that's a whole additional tax that they're missing out on when people go to these, what do they call them, I-71 businesses.
So they're just mad they're not getting paid.
Yeah.
Then draft the other way to get paid.
But it's exactly right. Draft a way to tax it. Fix the system so that you can just have recreational cannabis that is taxed at the rate that you want. Fix it in the law. Don't try and use the law as a weapon against businesses, you know, by targeting specific businesses.
I was telling the guy I work with today, like, the government in this country is so reactive and not proactive. They wait for shit to happen and then try to fix it instead of trying to like get out ahead of stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point the federal government's just going to be like, well, at a certain point, all the states will have some sort of legal program, and then it'll just be moot. We won't have to do anything about it.
But it would still be on Schedule 1.
We won't have to make a decision. But it'll be on Schedule 1, but if you tell your DEA to not go after it, then it's moot, right? If you just say, oh, well, that's it. They all figured it out on their own. I mean, like, it's a horrible precedence to set as anybody that's in control of the federal government.
Well, yeah, because at some point...
Like, what do we need you for?
Well, yeah, at some point, with some state, like perhaps California or Texas, is going to be like, well, what the
believe
fuck?
me,
if we figured this out, what else?
There's already plenty of states in the union going, what do we need you for again? What is it that you do?
Yeah.
What is it that you do again?
Well, is it, again, follow the money isn't the answer. We send you a big bag of money every year.
That's true, yeah. We bail you out when you're shit catches fire or floods or torn down by a tornado.
All right. Well, follow us on the social media at the Weisman420 on Twitter or on Facebook. Like us there and head to ChristopherMedia.net. Hit the PayPal banner. Hit the Amazon button if you would like to help us out, and wherever you listen, whether it's Apple, Spotify, just wherever you can rate and review us. Those are the two spots I know you can rate and review us. Please do. I know we're on like dozens, possibly even hundreds of other platforms. It's crazy the amount of places you can get a podcast from. It's funny, the sites that I'm like, really? We're there? I don't remember submitting this there. Okay, sure. But it's just, yeah, if the RSS feed is out there, podcatchers find us. So however you found us, wherever you listen to us, if you can rate and review us, please and thank you. That's how people find new stuff nowadays. It's how I find new stuff. So thank you for listening. Stay high.
Stay high.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.